Every other week, someone shares a post saying, "Your 401k is a trap. Wall Street is stealing your retirement." And look, a lot of that is just noise. But here's what nobody's telling you. There are real smart, financially sound reasons why you might want to pump the brakes on your 401k contributions, or at least think twice about where your next paycheck is going. Not because of conspiracy theories, not because some guru said so, but because of simple financial math. The question isn't, should I ditch my 401k? The real question is this. Based on where I am right now, my tax situation, my retirement timeline, and what I'm trying to build, where does my next dollar do the most good? Sometimes that's your 401k, sometimes it's a Roth IRA, sometimes it's paying down debt or building up cash you can actually touch. The goal here is to be smart and intentional with every dollar you earn. Hey everyone, I'm here to help make retirement easy, and today we're talking about something that might surprise you. Here's the thing about personal finance advice online. The scary stuff gets shared. The boring, nuanced truth? Not so much. You've seen the videos. The 401k locks your money away forever. The government controls it. It's rigged against you. But let me tell you the truth, the 401k is one of the absolute best tools we have for building wealth in retirement. Fidelity manages more than 45 million retirement accounts, and they've reported that more Americans have hit millionaire status through their employer 401k than through any other single account type. Right now, there are over 400,000 people who became 401k millionaires. That number keeps climbing year after year, even when the markets get bumpy. For most Americans, the 401k isn't just part of the plan, it is the plan. But here's the catch. Even the best tool in the toolbox can be the wrong choice depending on when you use it and what you're trying to accomplish. So, let's walk through the real reasons, the legitimate reasons why you might want to stop or slow down your 401k contributions. Reason number 1, you're setting yourself up for a massive tax bomb in retirement. This surprises a lot of people. If you're a really good saver, if your income keeps climbing, or if you already have a big balance sitting in your traditional 401k, every extra dollar you throw in there might actually be creating a bigger problem down the road. Here's what I mean. Bigger required withdrawals when you hit that RMD age, which stands for Required Minimum Distributions. That's when the IRS says, okay, time to start pulling money out whether you want to or not. Right now, that kicks in at 73, but it's moving to 75 soon. When those RMDs hit, they can push you into higher tax brackets in your 60s and 70s. They can cause more of your Social Security to get taxed. They trigger higher Medicare premiums, those IRMAA surcharges. And they leave you with less room to do strategic Roth conversions. Morningstar and Vanguard both say the same thing. High savers often end up paying more in taxes during retirement than they ever expected. And here's why that happens. When all your money is locked up in tax-deferred accounts, the tax math starts working against you. Your RMDs can shove you into brackets higher than what you were in when you were working. That's the exact opposite of what the 401k was supposed to do. So why does this happen? Let me break it down. First, your paycheck might stop, but your taxable income doesn't. A traditional 401k delays your taxes. It doesn't erase them. When you retire, those RMDs force money out. A chunk of your Social Security becomes taxable. If you have a pension, part-time work, or investment dividends, all of that stacks on top. For people who saved aggressively, those RMDs alone can land them in higher brackets than they were in during their working years. Morningstar's research shows this over and over. Retirees with $1 to $3 million sitting in tax-deferred accounts often pay more in lifetime taxes than if they'd spread some of that money into Roth accounts earlier on. Now, yes, having $1 million or more in a 401k isn't common across everyone. But if you're someone who's been saving consistently your whole career, it's not rare at all. Second, your account keeps growing even while you're taking money out. Vanguard's models show that many traditional IRAs in the $1 to $2 million range keep compounding faster than the RMDs pull money out. That means your required withdrawals go up every year, your tax bill goes up every year, your tax bracket keeps climbing. So much for the old saying that your taxes will be lower in retirement. For a lot of high savers, that's just not true. Third, tax brackets get tighter in retirement. Your paycheck disappears, but your taxable income gets less flexible. You've got fewer income streams. Your withdrawals all land in the same tax buckets. And retirement-specific taxes start hitting you, things like Social Security thresholds that never adjust for inflation, Medicare IRMAA cliffs, capital gains mixing with ordinary income, and RMDs piling on top of everything else. Once you hit those thresholds, your real tax rate can be higher than the number you see on paper. And fourth, the tax code rewards spreading your money around, not putting it all in one place. Traditional 401ks give you a tax break today, but they create a tax bill that keeps growing. A 4 to 6% withdrawal on a big traditional balance can easily land you in the 22, 24, or even 32% bracket, especially if you've got a pension. Meanwhile, Roth accounts, taxable brokerage accounts, or HSAs don't force you to take taxable withdrawals. That's why tax experts keep pushing tax diversification. It's not about opening more accounts just to have them. It's about giving yourself options so your withdrawals can work with the tax code instead of fighting it. This isn't about fear or paranoia. It's about understanding how your money compounds and how tax laws actually work. So yes, if you run the numbers and see that your future RMDs are going to shove you into a higher bracket, it might be time to stop pouring every dollar into that traditional account. Reason number 2, your tax bracket today is lower than it's going to be later. This one comes up all the time for people in their 20s, 30s, and 40s. Let's say you're early in your career, you're in a lower tax bracket, but you know your income is going to climb. Putting money into a traditional 401k right now might actually be the wrong move. For workers whose income grows over time, and that's most people with a college degree, Roth contributions often build more after-tax wealth than traditional contributions. Research from the National Bureau of Economic Research shows that when someone's income grows even just 1 to 3% per year, Roth contributions tend to win because you're paying taxes in a lower bracket now and avoiding them during your peak earning and retirement years. Here's a quick example. Let's say you start your career making $60,000 a year and your income grows 2% annually. Early on, you're probably in the 12 or 22% tax bracket. Fast forward 15 or 20 years, and you might be making $140,000, sitting in the 24% bracket or higher if you got promotions, bonuses, or switched jobs. If you contributed to a traditional 401k early on, you got a tax break in the 12 or 22% bracket. But then in retirement, if you've got enough build up that your RMDs push you into the 24% bracket, you just paid more in taxes than you saved. Instead, you'd want to use a Roth 401k early in your career when you're in those lower brackets. Then, when your income climbs, maybe you switch to traditional. But the Roth tends to win when your earnings are on the way up. The TIAA Institute found that workers in the bottom 3 tax brackets early in their careers benefit way more from Roth contributions as their income rises. So in this case, it's not about stopping your savings. It's about directing that next dollar into the Roth 401k instead. Reason number 3, you need access to your money more than you need a tax break. This is the part nobody talks about online because it's not dramatic, but it's real life. If you don't have an emergency fund, if you're saving for a home, if you're carrying high-interest debt, if you need a financial cushion, or if you're just barely scraping by every month, locking your money in a 401k isn't the smartest play right now. Now, Yes, if your employer offers a match, you absolutely should contribute enough to grab that match. That's either a 50 or 100% instant return depending on how your plan works. That's one of the best financial deals you'll ever get. Get that free money. But after that, your dollars might be better used somewhere else. The order might look like this. Build up a real emergency fund first. Pay off high-interest debt. Max out an HSA if you've got one. Build up a taxable brokerage account that gives you flexible, penalty-free access to your money. It's not that the 401k is bad, it's that timing matters, stability matters. Having financial stability means you can handle whatever life throws at you, and it keeps your long-term plan on track. Reason number 4, you're planning to retire early. This is one of the biggest reasons someone might intentionally stop contributing to a traditional 401k. If you're planning to step away from work in your 40s or 50s, long before age 59 and a half, and your plan doesn't offer something like the rule of 55, your money is locked up. It doesn't line up with your real-life timeline. The smart move here isn't to stop saving entirely. It's to fund an account that gives you totally unrestricted access. And that usually means a regular taxable brokerage account. Yes, brokerage accounts come with more tax drag because they're funded with after-tax dollars and your interest and dividends get taxed every year. But if you invest in low-cost, low-turnover index funds or ETFs, you can minimize that drag big time. And once you hold those investments for more than a year, your gains get taxed at long-term capital gains rates, which are often 0, 15, or 20% depending on your income. Plus, remember, only the growth gets taxed. The money you put in, your principal, came from after-tax dollars, so you get that back tax-free. If you're planning an early retirement, building up a brokerage account isn't a mistake. It's smart planning. It means you're not handcuffed to a retirement account that won't let you touch your money until 59 and a half. You've got money you can access anytime, any amount, stress-free, no penalties. Now, this doesn't mean you abandon retirement accounts altogether. Those accounts are fantastic because they let your money grow either tax-deferred with traditional or tax-free with Roth. You just want both. Use your brokerage to fund your early retirement years and have money set aside in traditional retirement accounts for once you hit those later ages. Reason number 5. Your 401k plan is just plain bad. Some 401k plans are excellent. Others are frankly terrible. High fees, limited choices, only expensive managed funds. Investing in a bad plan can quietly eat away at your returns for decades. Even a 1% difference in fees can cut your final retirement balance by 20 to 30% over a career. That means a high-fee plan doesn't just cost you today, it costs you every year into the future because those dollars can't compound at their full potential. Sometimes the plan itself is the problem. Here's where it gets interesting. According to industry data, large employer plans, those with 1,000 or more employees, average all-in fees around 0.4 to 0.6%. Medium employer plans, 100 to 999 employees, average 0.7 to 1%. Small employer plans under 100 employees average 1 to 1.75%. That's where the fees really hurt. So when someone says my 401k is expensive, chances are they're in a small company plan. Those tend to have the fewest options and the highest costs. What fees should you watch out for? Here are the big ones that quietly drain your returns. Number 1. High fund expense ratios. These come straight out of your investment returns. A good index fund might be 0.02 to 0.1%. An expensive actively managed fund might be 0.65 to 1.5%. Your plan should offer institutional share classes, not expensive retail funds. Number 2, asset-based administrative fees. These are rep fees charged as a percentage of your balance. The common range is 0.25 to 1%. Anything over 1% is a red flag. This is one of the biggest hidden costs in bad plans. Number 3, record-keeping fees. This could be a flat fee per person or an asset-based fee. Flat fees are usually fine, but asset-based fees are often a sign the plan isn't well priced. Number 4, managed account fees. These are sneaky and expensive. If your provider suggests a managed solution, these can run 0.25 to 0.9% per year on top of everything else. Most people don't even realize they signed up for these. And number 5, revenue sharing arrangements. These are kickbacks hidden inside mutual fund expense ratios. They're hard to spot, but they usually show up in your plan's 404 of 5 disclosure. These are the hallmarks of older, less transparent plans. So yes, sometimes the smart move really is to get your match, then stop. It's not that you don't value saving or your 401k, but you shouldn't be paying 1% or more for the privilege of investing when you could just open an IRA and use low-cost index funds or ETFs. When fees cross a certain line, every extra dollar you put in the plan is being taxed by the plan itself, not the IRS. Reason number 6. Roth conversions are part of your strategy. For high savers, this is huge. If you know you're going to be doing Roth conversions down the road, maybe during a sabbatical, low-income years, or the years before RMDs kick in, you might want fewer dollars going into your traditional account right now. Why? Because it's inefficient to shuffle money into a traditional account to avoid taxes today, only to convert it later and pay taxes then on an even bigger amount. If Roth conversions are part of your long-term plan, it often makes sense to start shifting some contributions to Roth now, not just for the tax-free growth, but to reduce how much you'll have to convert later. You're building tax diversification today. You're slowing the growth of your traditional balance, which keeps your RMDs manageable, and you're giving your future self more room to convert at lower tax rates. This is exactly the strategy smart savers use. It's not that traditional accounts are bad, it's that you don't want to overfund them and box yourself into a situation where you can't manage your tax bill. The smaller your traditional balance is when you hit your 60s, the easier it is to convert strategically, stay in lower tax brackets, avoid IRMAA surcharges, reduce future RMDs, and control your taxable income throughout retirement. This is where tax planning becomes real strategy. It's not just about how much you save, it's about where you save and when those dollars get taxed. So here's the bottom line. The real question will always be this. Given my current tax bracket, my future tax bracket, my savings rate, and my retirement strategy, where should my next dollar go? There's no universal rule, no one-size-fits-all answer, just what's best for your situation and your money. And while there's no perfect mix for everyone, the people who tend to have the smoothest, lowest tax retirements are the ones who have money spread across all 3 buckets: tax-deferred, Roth, and taxable. This mix gives you options. It gives you flexibility. And having flexibility with your taxes in retirement, that's a superpower. The ability to decide which dollars to use and when to use them gives you ultimate control. So let me be crystal clear. I love the 401k. I think it's one of the most powerful wealth-building tools we have. But throwing every single dollar you earn blindly into a 401k without understanding the long-term consequences, without factoring in your life and your goals, that's not a strategy. That's autopilot. And autopilot is how people end up with higher taxes in retirement, less flexibility, and fewer options when they need them most. So don't let the clickbait scare you away from saving. And don't let habit make all the decisions either. Instead, be intentional. Always ask yourself, where should my next dollar go? When you do that, you're not reacting. You're building a plan that actually works for you. So what do you think about the traditional 401k? Do you have a favorite account type? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. If you found this helpful, please hit that like button. If you're new here, consider subscribing so you don't miss future videos. And if you know someone who could benefit from this information, please share it with them. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.